My Uncle Raymond died on a Tuesday in January. Not dramatically, not mysteriously, at least that's what we thought at the time. Heart failure, 63 years old, alone in the house he'd lived in for 30 years. The paramedics said he'd been there for about 4 days before anyone checked on him. My brother Eli and I drove up to handle the estate. We were the only family he had left, and honestly, we barely knew him. Raymond was the kind of uncle who appeared at holidays and disappeared just as fast. Quiet man, never married, never seemed particularly happy, but never seemed particularly sad either. Just present. Like furniture you stop noticing. The house was in Dunmore, Pennsylvania, a small place on the edge of a dead-end street. It smelled like old carpet and something underneath that, something chemical, almost medicinal. Eli said it smelled like a hospital. I thought it smelled like a place trying very hard to cover something up. We spent the first day packing boxes, clothes, books, dishes, normal things, sad things. It was on the second day that Eli found the wall. He was pulling shelves away from the back of the guest bedroom closet, checking for anything worth keeping, when he noticed the drywall didn't match. A section about 3 feet wide and 2 feet tall had been patched and repainted, but whoever did it wasn't trying very hard. The paint was a slightly different shade of white. The seams were rough. It had been done recently, within the last few years maybe. Eli knocked on it, hollow. We looked at each other. I told him we should leave it alone. He started pulling at the edges with a flathead screwdriver. Behind the panel was a shallow cavity, maybe 8 inches deep, and inside it, wrapped in a black garbage bag that had been sealed with electrical tape, were 7 VHS cassettes. No labels, no writing, nothing. They were stacked in order. There was a small piece of masking tape on each one with just a number written in black marker. 1 through 7, clean handwriting, patient handwriting. Eli wanted to watch them immediately. I reminded him that we didn't have a VCR. He found one in Raymond's living room. Of course he did. It was tucked under the TV like it had always been there. The TV itself was a boxy old CRT, the kind you don't see anymore. It still had a coaxial cable running to it from the wall. Raymond still had a working VCR in 2026. We didn't think much of it at the time. People keep old things. We should have thought about why it was still plugged in. Eli loaded tape 1. Tape 1. A birthday party. Mid-90s, based on the clothing and the decorations. Streamers in purple and green, a cake shaped like a dinosaur. There were kids running around a backyard, parents talking near a picnic table. Normal, warm. The kind of footage you've seen 100 times at estate sales and thrift stores. But here's the thing. None of these people were Raymond's family. We didn't recognize a single face. The camera moved through the party slowly, almost deliberately, like whoever was filming was looking for something. At one point it panned to the back corner of the yard where the fence met the tree line. Just for a second, just long enough. There was someone standing there, at the edge of the trees, not moving, facing the party. The camera moved on immediately, as if whoever was holding it either didn't notice or chose not to acknowledge it. We rewound and paused. The figure was wearing dark clothing. The face was obscured. Bad lighting, distance, maybe intentional. It was impossible to tell if it was a man or a woman. It was just standing there, watching. Eli said it was probably just a neighbor. I said probably. We put in tape 2. Tape 2. A different family. A Christmas morning. Living room covered in wrapping paper. Kids screaming with joy over toys I didn't recognize. A woman in a red sweater handing out presents. A man behind the camera laughing at something off-screen. Different house. Different people. Still no one we recognized. Halfway through, the camera panned across the room during a lull, and there, in the hallway behind the Christmas tree, half visible through the gap in the door. The same figure. Same dark clothing. Same stillness. Closer this time. Close enough that I could see what might have been hands at its sides. same blur where the face should be. I don't know if the blur was a problem with the tape itself or with us. I only know that every time I tried to focus on the face directly, something seemed to resist it, like my eyes kept sliding off. Eli said, "It's is in both tapes." I said, "I know." Tapes 3 and 4. More home videos, more families we didn't know, a summer barbecue, a high school graduation, different decades, the clothing changed, the hairstyles changed, the camera quality changed. But the footage always had the same unhurried, searching quality. And in each one, always in the background, always in a corner or a doorway or the edge of a crowd, the figure. Each time it was closer to the camera. By tape 4, a New Year's Eve party, cheap champagne, people kissing at midnight, the figure was standing maybe 10 feet from the lens. Still, watching. Close enough now that I thought I could almost make out the face. I didn't pause it this time. I didn't want to see. Tape 5. This one was different. No party, no family. Just a single chair in the middle of a room, plain walls, a single lamp throwing harsh light. And Raymond, our Uncle Raymond, 20 years younger than the man we'd buried, but unmistakably him, sitting in the chair, staring into the camera. He didn't say anything for almost a full minute. Then, if you're watching this, then I failed. I'm sorry. I tried to keep it contained. I thought hiding the tapes would be enough to break the loop, but I think I was wrong. I think I made it worse. The figure in the tapes, it's not a ghost. I don't have a better word for what it is, so I'll just say this. It follows the footage. Not the place, not the people. The footage itself. Wherever the tapes go, it goes. I found the tapes in 1998 in a box at a garage sale. I watched them. That was enough. I've been watching it get closer for 28 years. You need to bury the tapes, deep, separately. Don't burn them. I tried that with a copy I made and it didn't work. It just, the recording cut to static. Eli and I sat in silence for a long time. Then he reached for tape 6. I told him not to. He put it in anyway. Tape 6. 47 seconds of footage. It showed a room. This room, Raymond's living room. The same CRT television, the same VCR, the same lamp in the corner, the same water stain on the ceiling that I'd been staring at for 2 days. Except the timestamp in the bottom corner of the screen read October 14th, 1994. And in the image, sitting on the floor in front of the television watching it, were 2 people. Young men, 20-something, dark hair. Eli grabbed my arm. It was us. Not people who looked like us. Us, my jacket, his posture. The way I sit with my knees up, the way he leans to the left. The footage showed us sitting in this room, in front of this television, watching something, watching this, maybe, 22 years before we were ever here. And in the hallway behind us, just visible in the background, the figure was standing in the doorway. It was not blurred anymore. I will not describe the face. The tape ended.
We didn't speak for a while after that. Eli eventually said, "The timestamp is wrong. It has to be wrong." I didn't answer him. I was looking at tape 7, still sitting on top of the VCR where we'd left the stack. Eli noticed me looking at it. "Don't," he said. I turned it over in my hands, the masking tape label on the side, the number 7 in that same clean, patient handwriting. But on the back of the cassette, not the label side, the back, the part we hadn't looked at, was a strip of tape we'd missed, a small note in the same hand. This one was recorded last night. Last night, the night before we arrived, the night after Raymond died. I want to be precise about this. Raymond was already dead when this note was written. The paramedics confirmed he'd been gone for 4 days by the time anyone found him. He could not have been the one who wrote it. We did not watch tape 7 that night. We drove to a motel. We didn't talk much in the car. At some point around 2 a.m., Eli asked me if I remembered ever being in Raymond's house before. I told him no. This was our first time as far as I knew. He said the same. I looked up Eyes Raymond Caruso Dunmore on my phone, trying to find anything, a history of the house, an obituary, anything. I found a local news article from 2019, a small piece. Raymond had called the police to report a stalker. He told the officer that a figure had been appearing in his house at night, standing in doorways at the foot of his bed. He described it as a person with no clear face. The police found nothing. Raymond was referred to a psychiatric evaluation. The case was closed. I read the article twice. Then I looked up the date of Raymond's death again. He'd called the police in 2019. He'd spent 7 more years in that house after that. We went back the next morning. I want to tell you that we did the sensible thing, that we took Raymond's advice, found shovels, drove the tapes out to separate locations and buried them far underground, that we finished packing the house, called the estate lawyer, drove home, and never thought about it again. But we took tape 7 with us. I don't know why. I've tried to explain it to myself and I can't. It wasn't curiosity, exactly. It was more like inevitability. Like the tape had already decided it was coming with us before we made any choice at all. It's sitting in a box in my closet right now. I haven't watched it. I keep telling myself I won't. But I've started noticing things, small things, the way my eyes go to corners when I enter a room, the way I check doorways before I walk through them, the way I sometimes wake at 3 a.m. with the absolute certainty that something is standing at the foot of my bed, and how, when I turn on the light, the room is always empty. Always. Eli called me 3 days ago. He said he'd been having the same feeling. He asked me if I thought we needed to watch the tape to understand what we were dealing with. I told him I didn't know. He said, "What if watching it is the only way to make it stop following us?" I've been thinking about that ever since. It's been 2 weeks since I wrote most of this. I'm adding this last part tonight because something happened this morning that I need to document. I was going through old photos on my laptop, family stuff, childhood pictures, holidays. I was looking for something of Raymond to use for a memorial post. I found a photo I didn't take. It was in a folder labeled with last Tuesday's date, my computer, my account, a date when I was home alone. It's a photo of my living room, taken from the hallway. I can see the back of my couch, the TV, the lamp. I'm sitting on the couch in the photo. I'm watching something on the television. The screen is paused on a frame I recognize. It's the birthday party from tape 1. And I'm not alone in the photo. I'm going to watch tape 7 tonight. I'll try to post an update. Static,